everyone, my name is Caitlin and welcome back to my channel. So usually for my showdown episodes, I'll just compare Disney Channel shows, but oftentimes in the comments I get people recommending me to compare Bizaardvark with Icarly because of the obvious similarities between the two. And so I thought this would be really fun to do, but I didn't just want to compare the first episodes because their plot lines weren't really that similar. So I'm going to be reviewing two episodes where they both mention like a crazy stalker fan. So obviously for Icarly, they did this plot line a couple times, but I'm going to be focusing on the first time that they did it because I think that one is the most relatable to the Bizaardvark episode. But with all that being said, let's just jump right into it. So obviously I have to start with Icarly first. So we start the episode off and they've received this comment from a fan about how much they love the show and they'd love to like be an audience member if they ever wanted to do a live audience. So Carly and Sam think that would be a really great idea. So they invite their fan over and she ends up being really annoying and invasive and obsessive and they really don't know how to react. She keeps like inviting herself to things that they're doing together and just like showing up in their apartment. She goes as far as to moving to Seattle and transferring into their school and they kind of don't really know how to handle it. They don't want to be mean to this girl because she is a fan of them and so they just kind of accept it and kind of try to avoid her, but not really because by the end of the episode they're just kind of like, I guess we gotta hurry before Mandy gets here. Like they don't really confront their problem, but then they end up not having to because of the whole side plot with Spencer. So Spencer ends up joining this band because they were in need of a drummer, but obviously Spencer doesn't know how to play the drums and so they want to kick him out of the band and so they do, and then Spencer's all sad about it and is listening to their music because it's still good music. So Mandy shows up in their apartment and overhears the band that Spencer's listening to and then she becomes obsessed with them instead. So the Icarly gang end up actually lucking out and just not having to deal with their problem because she ends up moving on to someone else. But the main things I really liked about this episode was like just watching Icarly again because that was one of my favorite shows growing up and so I'm obviously going to be biased towards Icarly. I'm sorry, but that's the truth. I also just love Spencer so much. Like he's such a funny character and I forgot how much I loved him until I rewatched this episode. I also really liked how they ended up making the subplot relevant to the main plot. I love when shows do this and I think that it was done perfectly here. Also, Icarly is just such a good cast. Like they all play off each other really well and you can easily tell that they are friends in real life and that they have real chemistry with one another. And that just makes it so much better to watch. So moving on to Bizaardvark, the girls find out that they have their very first like super fan. And so in honor of her, they write a song for her just being like, thanks for being our fan. But then the fan kind of takes this in the wrong way and thinks that they're like best friends now and shows up to their house and then transfers schools and similar to Mandy and Icarly just becomes way overly obsessed with them and really doesn't take the hint that she is being annoying and invasive. And it gets to the point where Paige and Frankie are having their first live show and this girl kind of ruins it for them and so they get mad at her, understandably so, but then she kind of takes it the wrong way and gets really hurt by it. And they're kind of okay with how they treated her until later on they find out how much promotion that this girl did for them in their show. They feel bad and they go and apologize. And then they write this whole song for her to apologize, but then we never really saw them writing this song and it was like, how did you have time to write this from one place to another? Like, where did this song come from? And I've never really watched a Bizaardvark episode before. Like, does this happen a lot? Do they just, like, have songs ready to go? Like, how did you know what to say? Is that improv? Because that was, like, really good improv if that was just improv. But moving on, what I did really like about this episode was that the girls really understood that although she was annoying, like, she was still a person, and I like that they apologized to her in the end. Although I do think that what they did to her was pretty reasonable compared to how obsessive she was being. I like that they do acknowledge all the hard work that she does for them, but it's also, like, there's a line that needs to be drawn over like invasiveness and obsessiveness where it's like, you gotta give us our space. Like I'm assuming this issue with the fan didn't continue throughout the series, but it easily could have because they never really shut it down responsibly. Like there needs to be a common ground between being a fan and just being overly obsessive. So when it comes to similarities in this case, it's a lot more than just the plot lines of these two episodes. Both of these shows revolve around two girls that make videos online. They both have like another guy who's involved. And honestly, the content that they're making really isn't that different. Sam and Carly do their funny sketches and things, and they make comedy songs, which is pretty much the same thing. I would say the main difference is that Bizaardvark has that bugle element. Like because Icarly is more about like live broadcasting and like the Icarly.com website, they don't have the all extra elements that Bizaardvark has with their whole bugle thing. And like Icarly is more unique in the way that it's their own thing. I also found it funny how similar each of their theme songs were. Like I know Icarly's was more based on clips of the show, but the whole like laptop screen and the video elements are like basically the same thing and the songs themselves are actually pretty similar as well. So this is the first time I've done a show comparison where both of the shows are really similar. I think it's undeniable how similar iCarly and Bizaardvark are, though they do have their differences. Like, Carly and Sam are very different leads than Paige and Frankie are, but I think the main comparison that holds the two of them together is that they are best friends in high school. But that's about it. Like, their characters on their own are very different. Overall, it's no surprise that I think I'd have to choose iCarly over Bizaardvark. I just find the humor of each of these shows is more fitting to the Nickelodeon network than to Disney Channel. Also, I just found the Spencer plotline to be way more entertaining than the one with Jake Paul and the little kid. I also just felt that besides Paige and Frankie, the rest of the cast on Bizaardvark doesn't have as great chemistry as all the cast on iCarly do. But I want to know what you guys think, because I know a lot of you requested me to do iCarly versus Bizaardvark. Which show do you prefer? Do you think one was done better than the other? Are there any other episodes of the shows where they're really similar that you think I should cover? Let me know down below. I can't wait to read all about it. Anyways, guys, my name is Caitlin. You can follow me everywhere at Kate Loves Disney. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on that bell because I post new videos every single Friday. But that's all I have to say for today. I hope you'll have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you very, very soon.